Welcome to the Digital Learning Tools Contract Review video tutorial series. In this video, learn how to fill out a contract review form for a digital learning tool and submit it to go through the review process. Before we begin, check with your administrator, who will be the first to approve the submitted tool. There may be an individual assigned at your school or department to submit all contract review forms. If you are this person, continue to watch this video. If you are already familiar with this process, you may stop this video. To begin, go to the Digital Learning Tools page. If you need review, watch the first video in the series titled as Navigation to the Digital Learning Tools List and Contract Review Form. From this page, click on Submit a Contract Review Form in the navigation bar. You will notice a tip box appears that guides you along through this process to fill out the form. The first step is to choose if you are submitting a digital learning tool or district pricing agreements contracts. Keep in mind, if student accounts are not required and no personally identifiable information is entered to use the tool, it does not have to go through this process. The only exception is if an app or tool needs to be pushed out to student devices from IT. Then it has to go through the process to confirm that the tool does not collect student PII, so it is safe for students to use. Click Next in the box to choose between the two types of contracts. Follow the tips on the screen to walk you through the process. If you are familiar with the process after submitting several contract review forms, click on the Skip button to close the window and fill out the form on your own with no guidance. For this video, we will keep the box open through the whole process for our example. Choose Yes or No if the tool is a digital learning tool. Before making this choice, check to make sure the tool has not already been submitted or if there is another tool that can perform the same functions from the WCSD list of approved digital learning tools. Click Next to move forward through the form and back to go to previous steps. Choose Yes if the tool includes academic content. Any tool that is used in the classroom by students or teachers needs to be set to Yes. In this example, I will choose Yes. Click Next. In the title field, type in the full name of the tool without abbreviations or acronyms. In this example, I will type in Nearpod Example for this tutorial. Click Next. For the Terms of Service URL and Privacy Policy URL, find this information from the Digital Tools website. In Google, type the name of the tool. Click on the link to take you to the home page of the digital tool or service. Most of the time, the Terms of Service and Privacy Policy have links at the bottom of the home page. Use and agreement is identical to Terms of Service along with other ways how it's worded in this list. Sometimes privacy policy is embedded in Terms of Service. Select the links to take you to the correct information. In the address bar of the browser, select all the text and copy it. Then switch back to the contract review form and paste the link in the correct field. Do this for both fields required. You can see this process from this Nearpod example, as I am selecting the URL address, copying it, and pasting it into the appropriate field. Click Next. The next step in this process is to provide a detailed description of the digital learning tool. Here are some questions to think about as you put together a thorough description. What does the digital learning tool do? How will the digital learning tool help students? How will the digital learning tool be used in the classroom? And what platform does the digital learning tool run on? In this example, you can see these questions addressed in this description. Click Next. In these fields, type in a term start and end date of the contract, if applicable. Leave blank if no dates exist. Click Next. If there is a formal contract to attach to the contract review form, you can do this by clicking the Choose Files button. If this digital learning tool has anything to do with computers, you will need to fill out a software acquisition checklist document. Once this document is filled out with all the required information, you can attach it here. Click Next. In this step, the form will autofill the email address of the person who accessed this form that you can leave as shown in the field. Select the department or school from the drop-down list. Select your principal or director from the drop-down list. Finally, select the superintendent or chief of your department or school zone. Click Next. The project sponsor is the WCSD person who is sponsoring this contract or digital learning tool. If not sponsored, leave blank. Click Next. The vendor sponsor is the point person from the company who owns this contract or digital learning tool. If you have direct relation with the vendor regarding the contract, include the person's contact information. If not sponsored by a vendor, leave blank. Click Next. In billing details, enter the contract amount and the term. Select the time frame from the drop-down list. You can select more than one item by selecting from the list. Once a value is entered in the field, the boxes below are active. You can copy and paste the account number of the fund into the first box. It will auto-populate in the correct boxes when you submit the form. If there is no cost associated with this digital learning tool, you can leave this section blank. Click Next. If the contract will be funded by capital projects, be sure to change this box to Yes. Click Next. The last step includes additional details if they apply. If data extracts are required for the digital learning tool to communicate with a student database, choose Yes. If a single sign-on authentication will be required, choose Yes. For example, if you will be using Clever for students to access the tool. If none of these apply, leave them as No. Click Next. You are done. Click Done in the tip box. You will see unicorns appear that verifies you went through all the steps. Check over the form for anything missed or changes that need to be made. Click Submit Contract for review. Now the digital tool will go through the approval process. You can check the status of a digital tool by going to the Digital Learning Tools list. If you need to review how to sort or filter this list, watch the second video titled as Searching and Filtering Tools in the WCSD Approved Digital Learning Tools page. You will receive a notification email when your submitted tool has completed the process. Now you know how to fill out a contract review form for a digital learning tool before submitting it for review. Thanks for watching.